That's all you do, kid. Just take it to apartment 3, knock on the door, and leave it.
Don't I give it to anybody?
Sure. Man will ask you, is your name Cassidy? I want it there at 11. On the nose.
Joe, I've been in trouble before, and I don't want it again. This ain't dope, is it?
Nah. There's nothing in here can hurt you, Jimmy boy. If anybody asks you questions, just say you met a guy named Joe in the park. And remember, don't mention this place. Ah, smart kid like you. No point in telling you.
Joe, if you don't mind, get somebody else, huh?
Are you turning down a double sawbuck?
No, but I sounded off big, but I want to play it safe.
When you walked in this house, you made yourself a deal.
Yeah, but...
Now take it. You chicken out, or mention this place, you might as well stop breathing.
It had been a month since Artie Flegg and Sam Talbot robbed a downtown bank. Their loot included $50,000 in negotiable bonds. Rumor had it that Flegg had left the state, but I didn't buy that. My name is Frank Ballinger, Detective Lieutenant, M Squad, a special detail of the Chicago Police.
It's a dead stake, Frank. It's not going to pay off.
Our information says Artie Flegg's in town. This mob used that building before.
He wants that car ready.
Let's check him out.
Look like a kid, Frank.
Yeah, this could be at their bonds.
I got the license. Might give us a lead.
Good. It did. We traced the car to a man named Crawley. His 19-year-old brother, Jimmy, admitted driving it the night before. But that's all he'd admit until the next morning.
I tell you, I met the guy in Washington Park. He gave me $20 to deliver it. I needed the money.
Oh, you can do better than that, Crawley.
How can you do better than the truth? I've told you everything exactly the way it happened.
Then why did you run away?
I got scared. I thought maybe it was dope. That's what I thought.
Might have been better for you if it had been. A pusher might take a chance on a stranger, but not Flegg. He knew you and trusted you, and that took longer than a 15-minute meet in a park.
I don't know anybody named Flegg.
Did you ever see that man before?
He said his name was Joe Riley. I needed the dough.
Flegg is wanted for a $50,000 bank robbery. So is his pal, Sam Talbot.
And a kid who drove the getaway car.
Now, wait a minute. I didn't drive any getaway car. I never heard of anybody named Flegg or Talbot.
Jimmy, you're in real trouble.
Okay, let's say we buy half your story. You meet a man who's hiding out, he needs some ready cash, so you deliver a package for him. Where?
At that flat last night, apartment 3.
Apartment 3 is empty.
There's nobody in that building that's suspicious. Where did you meet Flegg?
Crawley, you're facing 5 to 10 as a principal in an armed robbery.
And Juvenile Division's got a couple of marks against you.
That was kid stuff a long time ago. I've been on the level.
On the level? From 10-cent stores to bank robberies? That's a big jump. Where is Flegg? We want him, not you.
Look, I go to a tavern on West Madison. This guy, Flegg, he comes in late different nights waiting for some girl. We get to talking and hit it off. He bought me a few drinks. I know him as Joe Riley.
Get to last night.
That's when he made the proposition. The girl was going to deliver the package, but she never shows. He took me to his room to get the package.
Okay, where's his room?
I don't know. He said he'd kill me.
Not if we bring him in.
Flegg's a 3-time loser. He's staring 60 years right in the face.
The first house on Ridgely Street, next to an alley.
What's the address?
We went in and out the back. It was the top floor.
Can you describe the room?
Just a furnished room in the back of the house with one of those old-fashioned wardrobes they use for clothes instead of a closet.
This better be the truth, kid.
Rudy, take him out of here. Flegg must know by now that those bonds were never delivered. He and Talbot have probably blown.
Let's check the house anyway.
Jimmy's description fitted the house at 517 Ridgely Street. It had 4 stories and was on an alley. The building belonged to a Mrs. Peggy Hanson. She wasn't exactly what I expected.
Must be some mistake, Lieutenant. I don't have a roomer who looks like this man.
But you do have men roomers.
Oh, yes, two. They're both at work. Oh, I run a respectable place. Always get references
Mrs.
before I let
Hanson,
her...
this is Captain Gray.
Well, how do you do? We have a search warrant. We'd like to look around.
Well, if you must. House isn't very clean. I wish you'd call and let me know before you came. Well, I know you can't do that, of course. Surprise is one of your biggest weapons.
Well, sometimes.
Well, I'm the only one at home. Now, this is the downstairs hall, and this is the door that leads to the cellar.
Well, what about that door?
Oh, that's the elevator, goes upstairs. And that's my kitchen over there. I've got 2 more upstairs. Kitchen privileges for everyone. I'm just telling you this in case you know a respectable man who might need a room.
Yeah. We'd like to start at the top floor, please.
Whatever you say. I prefer not to have ladies. I had one once, and she was such a nuisance I couldn't get a word in edgewise. And fortunately, I don't have to worry about money. I own the house free and clear. Well, this is the top floor. Nothing up here but a storeroom full of junk. I hardly ever come up here.
Is that skylight locked?
Yes,
Excuse me, please.
Oh, there's no need for that. I told you I was the only one home.
Has this ever been used as a bedroom?
Not in the 3 years I've been here. Captain, would you mind telling me what caused all of this?
Well, we have a prisoner who said he was in this room.
This room? When?
Last night about 10 o'clock.
How could that be? I was home all evening. And my tenants got in at 11:30. I heard them.
Well, I'm afraid we made a mistake, Mrs. Hanson.
You won't report this to the fire department or anything. I promised to clean up.
Of course not, but we would like to see the rest of the house if we may.
Of course. You know, there are lots of houses that look like mine. Maybe a prisoner was in one of them. Well, that just leaves the basement.
Well, I don't think we'd bother with that, Mrs. Hanson. Thank you so much.
You're certainly more than welcome. I hope you find what you're looking for, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Bye. Come on out. I had a good thing here for 3 years, Artie, and now you got to make trouble.
It was a dumb trick, Artie, but you shouldn't have brought that kid here.
I've gone chasing out to taverns at night. You had no right to bring that kid here. It's against all my rules. Now, look, you're hurting this place for other guys that need it. I don't want the cops around.
Stop riding me, will you? We fooled him, didn't we?
Yeah, but for how long? If they ever bring that kid around, changing this room might not work. Now, I want you guys out. Out!
What are you screaming about? You're getting your 100 a day.
Come on, Peg, be reasonable. We got to get a stake for another job.
Most of our dough is hot. You know that.
I don't care. I've got 2 bona fide tenants living downstairs, and you guys aren't supposed to leave this top floor unless I'm at home.
We know. I'll watch Artie. It won't happen again.
Jimmy Crawley was arraigned in police court and held in $5,000 bail. The bail was high because of the robbery and the kid's importance as a witness. His father, a night watchman, said he'd try to find a bondsman. I had Jimmy brought back to M Squad and tried to get him to talk again. We had to learn where Flegg and Talbot were hiding out.
Maybe you went to the wrong house.
We went to the house you sent us to.
Then you didn't see the right room.
We saw all the rooms. Why don't you tell us about the elevator?
But I never saw it. We used the stairs going up and down. He made sure he didn't make too much noise.
That's your story.
Okay, then I was wrong about the house.
Or lying. You're a smart cookie. Gave yourself time to get an attorney, and now your father's gone for your bail. Won't you come in, Mr. Crawley?
I was told to show you this to prove the bail's been paid.
Yeah, but this time your boy's in some real trouble.
Yes, I know. But I can't believe that he robbed any bank. I can't believe it. Oh, I know he was in some trouble, of a couple of years back. But he's been trying, keeping away from the bad crowd. My other son and I, we've been keeping our eyes on him.
Well, I hope that's the truth, for your sake.
Why, I put up my house for the bail bond. My equity in the house is almost 5,000. That's how much I think of Jimmy. Everything I got is behind him. Can I take him home now?
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Peggy Hansen had a good reputation. She paid her bills on time and ran a quiet rooming house. Nobody had a word to say against her. We checked out the other houses on the block and similar houses on nearby streets. We could draw only one conclusion. Jimmy Crawley was lying.
Yes?
Excuse me, lady. I don't know if this is the right place. Does a guy named Joe Riley live here?
No, I'm sorry.
This looks like the same hallway. Can I look? I was here last night. Those doors were closed.
Oh, I think you've made a mistake.
No. I was here. On the top floor. A medium-sized fella, Joe Riley. Were the cops in here today?
Yes, and they're welcome again. You can go outside and get them.
I came by myself. They said this was the wrong house. I don't get it. Well, thanks, lady.
What do you say, kid?
Joe, Artie, you got me in a jam. How do I square it?
If they tailed him here...
No, I made sure about that.
That's how I like it.
In my house. Haven't you got any sense? We'll have cops all around here.
He won't be bringing them. I'll take care of this.
You got anything?
No, the woman's all right. She's got two tenants. They work in factories. I talked to both of them. They seem okay. The next morning, our hopes of catching Flegg and Talbert blew up in our faces. Jimmy Crawley was reported missing.
Well, there's one thing about it, Frank. He didn't take any clothes.
Well, maybe he'll be back, but as long as he's on bail, he's free to move around as he pleases, just as long as he shows up in time for the trial.
Yeah.
I checked Jimmy's known friends and acquaintances. No one had seen him since his release. We began to suspect that he was hiding out with Flegg and Talbert.
Why not tonight? All right, all right. I want a late model and make sure nothing's wrong with it. Yeah? Call me. Got us a car, Artie. We can go in the morning.
You got yourself a car.
You're too hot to stay here.
Sure, it's okay with you if we take off in a hot car in broad daylight. Now, don't be a fool.
I'll make it.
You leave with Sam tonight or you'll never use this place again.
Sam, this job next week's worth waiting for.
After what you pulled on the kid, get yourself somebody else. I'm leaving.
And you get out with him.
You cooled off 100% since I killed that kid. Now, shut up. I'll go when I'm ready.
Ballinger? Yeah, when? Hold it. Are you sure? I'm on my way. Oh, we got a lucky break.
Yeah.
Traffic officer just shot and killed Sam Talbert.
I didn't know who he was till I went through his pockets, Lieutenant.
You sure he was alone?
Yeah, he refused to give another car the right-of-way. Started shooting when I went after him. I had to stop him. I thought he was Fred Green, like it says on the letter, but then I got into his wallet. Everything else says Sam Talbert.
517 Ridgely Street.
I wasn't even going to give him a ticket, just talk to him.
All right, thank you very much, officer. That's Sam Talbert, all right. I'll check it out. postmark on the letter was 2 weeks old. It was written by a woman. No names were mentioned. I had Peggy Hanson's house put under surveillance and went to see her.
Coming. Oh, it's you.
Nancy.
I was expecting the delivery boy. Come in, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Where's that nice-looking captain today?
Oh, he's having lunch with his wife.
Oh, I was half hoping I might rent him a room.
Are either one of your tenants home?
No, and you know it. They said you went to the factory last week and talked to them.
Yeah. I'd like to take another look at the place, if I may.
You're more than welcome to. What's this all about, Lieutenant?
Well, this time I'd like to start with the basement.
Anything you say.
Thank you.
Well, now you've seen every room in the place. What are you looking for? You haven't answered my question, Lieutenant. I've got a right to know what you're looking for.
How long did Fred Green live here?
Fred Green? The name's not familiar.
Well, according to the post office, he lived here.
No, unless one of my tenants received mail for him. I'll ask. Oh, why don't you ask Mr. Green?
Well, he's dead.
Oh, that's too bad.
I have a photograph of him here.
No, I've never met him.
Well, would you mind asking your tenants when they come in?
No, I'll be glad to. Is it very important?
Yeah, we'd appreciate the information.
Sorry, I can't be of any help now. Ready?
Oh, yeah. Our first look at the room had been quick. This time I noticed the texture of the dust. The lab corroborated my suspicions. It contained fragments of wool and cotton from rugs.
Oh, I see. You just hook it up backwards. In other words, you put the hose on the air outlet instead of on the intake hole.
That's right, and then you spray the dust around. But whatever kind of dust you put in here, it's bound to pick up some of the old dust from the vacuum or the hose.
Well, do you think she manufactured the dust in that room?
The lab boys think so, because it's not usual dust for that kind of a room.
Well, then Jimmy Crawley wasn't lying.
I don't know. What the lab boys said made me start to think. Remember how that room was laid out? This wooden wall here meets the rear wall right here by the rear window. Now, it sort of makes the room off balance. Now, let's take a look at the wall opposite the elevator.
Oh, I think I see what you're getting at.
If you follow the true side of the building like that and that, you've got a space in there.
But, Frank, there were no doors in that wall.
No doors that we were supposed to see.
Well, if Flegg was there, he's gone now.
Well, it's not only Flegg that we want.
The kid?
Yeah. He was very positive about this building.
Yeah, and if he went back to prove his story.
Right. Nobody answered the doorbell. Our men on stakeout said Peggy had just left for the grocery store down the block. Flegg! This is the police. We can hear you behind that wall. Come out with your hands up.
You're surrounded, Flegg. Open up and throw out your gun.
Artie, I'm back. Come on downstairs. I'll get you something to eat. Artie!
Okay, Flegg. You come out from behind there and I'm gonna start shooting right through the wall.
Don't shoot. I'm coming out.
Do you want to tell us where Jimmy is, Mrs. Hanson?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You got rocks in your head. We don't know what happened to the kid. I want a doctor. You got to get me into hospital.
We figured the kid would lead us to you, Flegg, and he did. All right, dig up the floor. Artie Flegg paid with his life for the murder of Jimmy Crawley. The same Chicago jury made Peggy Hanson a lifetime tenant in the state prison for women.